Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. Hey ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to talk about kids and our husbands. So I want to ask you a question. Going back to traditional roots, is your husband a first priority over your children? And do we even know what that looks like or why it's important? So really ask yourself, do I give the time and energy needed for my husband's relationship to flourish? Now you're like, Diana, I'm tired. I've got 5 or 6 kids running around. You should see the things that I have to organize and clean and running here and there. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that you're busy. I understand that there are like a million things that could potentially pull you in different directions, which we talk here on the Mom Training Podcast about how to eliminate some of those things to not be pulled as much in the day-to-day runaround. But you can't say that there's not a problem with marriages right now. I mean, we can all look around and we know someone or, have struggled ourselves with keeping our marriage strong. Maybe we've lost a marriage, someone close to us has. And there are many reasons of why there are struggles and troubles and marriages that sometimes have to end. But today we're going to talk about a simple thing that we can adjust in our own lives to hopefully prevent any problems and maybe, heal any wounds or kind of step back and try to fix some things that may have been struggling lately. So kids versus our husbands. Now, when our husband comes home from work, there's no guarantee that we are going to be smiling every day, the house is going to be clean, the kids look nice, the dishes are done. That is most likely not going to be you and me every day. There are going to be days that suck. Be real. There are going to be days that are harder than others. But I want you to think to yourself, how can I make that moment more enjoyable more often when he walks in the door? Now, I'm not throwing fists. I'm not trying to start a fight of, I had such a hard day. He had to go to work. He didn't have to do any of the kind of stuff that I had to do. Look, this is how marriages are struggling. We don't just think about ourselves. What can we do to make the moment that he walks into his home better? That is something that we can control a little bit more than we might think we can. So, for example, for me, we clean up half an hour before Daddy comes home. And I try to have at least the front room cleaned and the front, vision way of him coming home. So, for us, that's the living room and into the kitchen and the counter, directly in front of the door. There could be tons of dishes piled up in the sink. But that counter and the stove is clean and the living room is clean and his desk is clean. Now, who knows what the bathroom looks like? Who knows what the bedrooms look like? But his pathway coming in is clean. And I know there can be arguments of, Diana, I have so many little kids. I have, things that I'm doing all day. Look, I understand. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn right now. They know how to clean up and why it's important that when Daddy comes through the door, that this area is clean. This is where kids versus husband comes in. Our kids have the capability to learn certain things. Like, Daddy just worked all day for us to be able to have food, for us to be able to live in this home, for us to be able to have clothes. Whether you work or not, Daddy helped with that. Daddy has made money for us today. And we want to respect him by having this front room clean and things picked up. So when he comes in, he can have a happy moment. We can greet him at the door. We can, smile at him and be happy. And since we have been doing that as a team, me and my kids, I'll tell you what, like daddy coming home is the most joyous moment literally we have in our home every day. He is happy. The kids are happy. I am most of the time happy. It depends on what the day it has been like. But literally, creating that little moment has changed everything. And it has included the kids and I to respect daddy. Now, do you think my kids enjoy 4:30? When daddy comes home at 5, so at 4:30, do you think they enjoy cleaning? Do you think they enjoy having to pick up all their stuff, having to go make sure that everything is cleared off, their little tables cleared off, all their crafts are put away? You think they enjoy that? No, they do not. Do I enjoy it? No, I do not. Having to get on them of, hey, come on, we need to clean up. Okay, well, I'll do this with you. Hey, come on, this is going to be really fun. Daddy's here. I have to motivate the whole time. So this is the kids versus husband. It is uncomfortable for my kids to have to clean up after themselves at 4:30. It is uncomfortable for me to have to be like, oh, okay, we have to clean up right now. But here's the thing. Having the house clean and creating that moment for daddy is more important than my kids being comfortable and me being comfortable. Now, my husband doesn't necessarily even realize sometimes. Like there are some days he comes home and the house is not clean. Okay. But the majority of the days, the house is a welcoming place for him. So I want you to think to yourself, are there some places that I can adjust with my kids and myself to put my husband as a higher priority? Whether that's something that makes my kids uncomfortable, like having to clean up after something, having to do certain chores, having to have a good attitude, or whatever it may be, or ourselves. How can I adjust my day and my surroundings to respect the husband relationship more? Now, I want to give you an example that I actually have noticed in my own life lately. So since we got back from Arizona and visiting family and having this new baby, I have been really busy trying to catch up on everything and get everything running again. And so by the time the night comes, like I just want to snuggle my babies. Like I want to hold them for a long time. But see, I have 3 of them now. So holding them takes a lot of my time. Like, I have to breastfeed the baby, then my 2-year-old wants to be held, and taking care of the 4-year-old and whatever. And I've noticed myself spending most of my evening loving my kids. Now, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. It's actually a wonderful thing and a blessing that I feel that towards my kids. But the problem is the evening times are the only times that I have with my husband. And with a newborn baby, I'm getting up like 2 to 3 times in the night. So mommy's going to bed a lot earlier than daddy is. So my time with my husband is very limited to, talk with him, to be intimate with him, to, just snuggle with him, whatever it may be. My connection time with him is a little bit more limited at the moment. So I've had to start to work on how can I create more time in the day to snuggle my kids? How can I create so when the evening comes that putting them to bed is not the time that I spend my majority of snuggle time with them? And how can they feel loved and cherished and that I care about them throughout the day? So that's personally what I have been working on to try to create evenings as more of a time when it's like, you know what, mommy would love to snuggle you, but we snuggled a bunch today and I need to go snuggle and spend time with daddy because that is a really important thing for me to do. And explaining that to my kids of when mommy and daddy are happy together, it means a happy home. So I need to go spend time with daddy right now. I love you so much. And we had a great time today, but I really need to go love on daddy and spend some time with him and make him feel important too. Because it's really about priming our kids, prepping their minds, letting them know beforehand or explaining what is actually happening. Instead of getting mad of like, no, I need to go. You need to go to bed. Stop trying to snuggle my leg, It's, you know what? I know that you want to snuggle with me, but this is why I need to go. This is really important. Mommy and daddy need to love each other for this family to be happy. We need to be able to work together. And I have some things I really want to talk to daddy about. I really want to spend some time with him. So we will spend more time tomorrow. So having open communication with your kids and letting them know why your time with your husband is so important, because it really, really is. Same thing with having date night every week. Getting the babysitter is the worst part for me, okay? It is. Trying to find someone to watch my kids is the most annoying part every week, but I do it. And we do go on a date every week. And because of that, it has kept our marriage very strong and healthy, and we have open communication, and we actually have time to think with each other and have fun together instead of just the logistics. It's about having fun together. And, the kids also know that that is important, and that the daddy relationship with me is what matters the most. And with that relationship being strong, there will be much success in our home in a lot of areas. Now, you may be thinking, okay, well, my relationship is struggling right now. Well, it's not too late. I really want you to use your intuition. You can pray about it, talk to God, whatever your beliefs are. What can I do to increase my love and respect for my husband? And is there anything that I need to pull back on with spending time with my kids? Or do I need to work on my routine so that the kids do feel like they're taken care of, or I get all the logistics in earlier before he comes home? Like for me, my goal is to have pretty much almost everything that I need to done before he gets home. Now, when daddy gets home, I do utilize that time because he goes and plays with them for the first half hour. So I utilize that time to finish the dishes, to finish his lunch or for the next day, or to make dinner. But again, it's how can I create a more respectful and more loving relationship with my husband, even over my kids, especially over my kids. And now it may be like, Diana, that's terrible. My kids are everything to me. Yeah, they're everything to me too. But there is a problem with marriages right now and the respect of the husband and the wife. It goes both ways. We, as moms and as wives, can control what we can control, which is ourselves. So we can control and create a different environment. We can protect the time that we have with our husbands and make it really count. One step at a time. It's going to be different for each marriage. What will heal it? What will revive it? What will make it harmonious? But there is one thing that is universal, and that is respect between all parties, and realizing that the husband and the wife relationship is what is going to create the most harmony, love in the family, things that will flow, and the kids will see that, and the kids love that. They love their mommy and their daddy, and they want to see them happy together. So how can we put our husband as a higher priority in our day and in our family and in our personal life? And I'm going to tell you a little secret right now. making that relationship more harmonious is not only just about him. It's about us as moms and wives having, more help, more happiness, more harmony in the home, the husband wanting to help out more, or, you being able to ask him more and he's more willing to because he's happier about coming home. I mean, these are things that me and my husband have worked through for years. And we were friends for 5 years before we got married, and we've been married for over 5 years now. So we've had to work on this communication thing for a long time. But putting your relationship with your husband as a higher priority will bring you greater peace and joy and just enjoyment in life. There's a lot of push right now of a lot of different focuses instead of making the family strong. And I promise you that keeping your relationship with your husband strong, or strengthening it if you're struggling right now, will be one of the best things you will ever do. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.